Mic check 212, bitch.
What's up, guys? This is DDP here for a somewhat condensed version of Mavs Fastbreak. The season has ended. It was kind of a chaotic weekend for me, so I'm not fully set up to do my full postseason Mavs show here. I plan here in the near future, probably as early as next weekend, I'm going to try and get Max on here, Rangers King, and we're going to start talking about some prospects, give you an idea on who the Mavericks might target if they're able to hang on to that pick, which we won't know until, I believe, May 14th, I want to say. It's like a Tuesday. Annie and I are planning to do a live reaction stream for when that happens, so you guys will get to see our reaction as we find out whether or not Dallas not only gets to keep its first-round pick, but if it can somehow, some way land on that 6% chance to get the #1 pick, and by extension, Zion Williamson. So lots to look forward to there. But for today, this is kind of just an open forum that we're going to treat this as. I am going to be watching the Oklahoma City-Portland playoff game here at 2:30. And as a result of that, I wanted to bump up the start time for this show a little bit today and kind of just get at least something out there, get a chance to interact with you now that we've had a couple days to kind of process everything post-Dirk. So, Alex Sports, what's good? Gle, can't catch him, what's up? Facts God, what's up? We're finally here, let the future begin. Yeah, man, that's what we're looking at here. We are now in the post-Dirk era. It's a little sad, but at the same time, it's exciting because of the combination of Luka and Kristaps Porzingis, what we might be able to build around, and the fact that we still have a chance to add one or more very good to even maybe even great level players in this offseason via free agency. It's very exciting. So, Gle asking who is wearing the Rondo jersey. That's a good question. The season-long bet between Innie and Duka, and this would be a great stream for him to be on. But let me check it out. I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, Innie won that, but I want to verify because I'm not going to willingly throw on a Rondo jersey if I don't have to. Okay, Innie wins category 1 because first item was Mavs record being over or under 40.5 wins. He took the under, I took the over. I look like a jackass, so good start, good start. Dirk, over or under 11.5 points per game. We both took the over. We're both wrong, so that's a push. Luka Doncic, Rookie of the Year, not settled yet, but more than likely going to be Luka. And he wins that, unfortunately. I took the field in that case just because it's like back in the day when you were picking Tiger versus the field. Usually the field wins, and Luka is going to be the first guy since 2003 to win it from the 3rd overall pick. So little something there to it. There was some madness, or some method to my madness, I should say, or madness to my madness for why I took the field in that case. So Innie's got a pretty comfortable lead right out front. Innie predicted that Dennis Smith Jr. would be the leading scorer for the Mavericks. He was wrong. I was right. He was actually way wrong on that, but it is what it is. Both of us said that Wes Matthews would get traded. That happened. DeAndre Jordan over under 15 boards a game. We were both overly ambitious there. That did not happen. Luka Doncic, predicting Luka Doncic, 6+ assists a game. Innie took the under. I took the over with a clarification of 6 as my prediction. Did he get, Ranger King, can you tell me real quick, did he get 5.9 or did it make it to 6? Because either I take that category or Innie's going to get that one again. And if he gets that one, I've got no chance to come back. But that's what I show. I think Luka ended with 6, so I think I get that one. Correct me if I'm wrong. DeAndre Jordan, all defensive team. Whew. Our logic was even if it was defensive 3rd team or whatever, that we could get away with it. Neither of us are going to get that one. Do the Mavs have over or under 2.5 representatives of All-Star Weekend? We both said over, and we based it on assuming that at the very least Dennis Smith Jr. would be Rising Star Challenge, if not Dunk Contest. And yes, we would count double representation like Luka or Dennis being the Rising Stars Challenge plus All-Star Game if it came to that. But the Dennis Smith trade kind of derailed that right at the finish line. So we got Luka and we got Dirk. I believe those were the only two representatives that we got for the All-Star weekend. Did Brunson play at all in the Rising Stars Challenge? I don't think he did, but that one's probably two. So again, probably a push. And yeah, I got like a stupid hair like in my mouth. Let's see here. So we're both wrong on that. Who gets the most All-Star votes? Any took Dennis Smith. I took Luka. That was a no-brainer. Eric Anthony, what's good? And finally, I feel like we added another one that's not showing up on here on my list. I feel like we had another qualifier that came up, and it was something related to Luka. It was his triple-double count. For Luka's triple-double. Luka is 5.9583. You know what? We're going to round up. We're going to round up because, yeah, I know how this game works. Once you get over 5.9 and then it's a 5 whatever, yeah, we're going to round up. 6. I'm taking that category. Thanks for the very mathematical calculation on that, though. So, yes, I think we have a relative tie. And on the last one, the triple-double count was 6+. I think he had him at 6. And I had him at the plus. So I think I got that, but I still think any wins by 1. Let me do one more quick sweep through this just to check. Any, neither, any, me, neither, me. So 2 to 2. Neither, me, any. How did my tiebreaker end up confusing it more? All right, we're going to drop the Luka one. I'm quite certain that any beat me by 1 in the revised result. So unfortunately, he's not here to gloat, thankfully. But I will now, for the bet payoff, have to don a Rajon Rondo Dallas Mavericks uniform. Not uniform, just the jersey. And moving forward, I'm going to have to order one, obviously. Probably have to custom order one because, God forbid, I have to find one of those things. They've probably all been burned by now. But I got to wear one every Mavericks live stream the whole off season. And if we do any kind of live remote stuff at all, I have to wear it. So basically, if I'm talking Mavericks and it's a Mavericks exclusive thing, I have to wear that. And I have to, on Twitter, take a picture wearing the jersey and basically tag Rajon Rondo as if he was my favorite Maverick of all time. So, yeah, it's a really shitty bet to lose, but it is what it is. I misplaced my trust in the field as far as Rookie of the Year. And he probably is celebrating somewhere lying on the grass. Let me get caught up on the chat here. I cried when Dirk said he was retiring. Yeah, man, that was hard. That last home game for Dirk, I couldn't even do the stream that night. I knew I couldn't do it, so I waited until his final game, which still choked me up a couple times in the first half. And then I just watched the second half kind of on my own, and I definitely teared up when that clock hit all zeros. Gleh, 1 month away from the lottery. Yes, sir. Sorry, but I want a Portland win. I feel bad for Damian. I mean, I don't want a Portland win. I respect a lot what he says about not wanting to join a super team and that there being bigger things and better things than just titles. Totally respect him. That's a rare dude there to be able to be a lifer in that case. But we'll see. I don't know what to expect for his overall future, what Portland looks like. They're going to be hard-pressed to win right now without Nurkic for sure. So I take Oklahoma City in the series. Plus the Thunder swept them in the regular season too. We need Patrick Beverley and Jimmy Butler type players to mix with Luka and KP. I freaking hate Patrick Beverley, but I would gladly have him on my team. I'm very reluctant. I know Jimmy Butler just talked specifically about the Mavericks as a place of interest this summer if he doesn't stay in Philadelphia. I'm very reluctant about Jimmy Butler. I just see him burning bridges everywhere, and he's killing. Like the 76ers, man, I know they just lost game 1, but I think he's poison in the water, man. I want probably less to do with Jimmy Butler than I even do Kevin Durant at this point. But Patrick Beverley, if he's on your team, He's the irritant that's not screwing you over, and we know he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective in a game. If he's on your team, there's some bad blood I'll have to set aside, but I would take it. Jimmy Butler, nah. Plus, Butler's going to take a ton of money to get, and Bev won't take that much money. I think our pick will be number 7, but I don't care. Our team will be in the playoffs next year regardless. Well, if it's number 7, it's not our pick at that point. We have the 7th best odds, but we still have a chance, a 6% chance at the number 1 pick. And I think it's like a 20% chance to keep our draft pick, which is also good. So, I mean, not good, not what you would want it to be. We ended up winning like 3 of our last 6 games, unfortunately. Or 5 of our last 10, something like that. I mean, a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. The point is, we still have a shot. We might get to keep the pick. If we don't, oh well. The deal's done for Luka. No more looking back, and now we're on to the future, knowing what we have instead of having to debate it. I hope we end up with the 9th pick. Won't feel too bad about giving that to Atlanta. Yeah, if you're not going to get to keep the pick, you want the balls to really not go in your favor. Instead of ending up at like 6, you want it to end up as low as possible, which I think would be like 9. Jaka, greetings from Slovenia. What's up? Cowboys X Factor. Hey, DDP. What's good, Cowboys X Factor? Won't feel bad unless they get Zion, which won't happen. Not from us anyhow. I miss Dallas Mavs basketball. Yeah, it's only been a minute, but yeah, it is a little bit of a bummer. Like, I'm already, even though it was really sad seeing Dirk go, we were so wrapped up in Dirk the final 10 games or whatever, especially the final week. We kind of lost sight for a minute of Luka, and in that time, in Dirk's last home game, he wrapped up another triple-double, giving him the most triple-doubles for a player before his 21st birthday in NBA history. That breaks a tie with Magic Johnson, and I think in terms of rookie seasons overall, he's 3rd most all-time triple-double. So really cool accomplishment there for Luka. He didn't play in the finale against the Spurs. I think they just wanted to make sure they would lose, but it is what it is. Luka played 71 games this year. He averaged something like 21.5 points a game. I'm trying to remember his rebound numbers off the top of my head. It was like 7 boards and 6 assists, basically. Something to that effect. Damn good numbers. The only guy that put up numbers before him like that for his rookie year was Oscar Robinson. They could tank better at the end. They could have. Like I said, they won like 5 of their last 10, which kind of sucked. We know what happened with the OKC game. We know what happened with the Philadelphia game. They weren't going to lose Dirk's last home game. They were too motivated for that. And let's see, that's 3 of the 5. They beat Memphis on the road. I didn't like that win at all for us. And then there was one other I can't think of right now. But yeah, it sucks in that regard, but it probably wouldn't have made a huge impact on the odds at that point if we're talking like one game. Hard to teach players to tank. Yeah. Why do you have to wear that jersey again? Because in the preseason, to keep things interesting, Annie and I made a bet on a number of factors about, basically, we wanted to bet payoff for the season. So we made a number of predictions and predicted various things to basically determine which of us would be a winner and a loser in the end. Unfortunately, thanks to some random BS, I gotta wear a Rondo jersey, which is a nightmare I hoped to never experience in my life. And now I got to do it the whole off season. So moving forward, I'm gonna have to go order one in the next day or two, and then I'm gonna have to wear it. Or if somebody on some bizarre effing chance has that jersey, just send it to my PO box. Do me a solid. I'll rep it. There you go. There's the Dallas Prospect PO box. Send it to me. But yeah, so I'm going to have to be wearing that the entire offseason for any Mavs streams now. Oh, the inhumanity. That's exactly how it feels, Freedom Roar. I am in the part, it's as if it's not bad enough just to wear it. The fact that I got to like tweet a picture of it on Twitter, as you would, and tag it to Rondo and basically make it sound like I'm representing my favorite Maverick of all time. That's just gross, especially with Dirk just retiring to imply that Rondo is my favorite of all time. That's no good. You guys are going to have to back me up in the comments of that on the thread, because there are going to be all kinds of people sniping at me like crazy for that. So you guys are going to have to back up. Like, no, 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 it's just a bet. He just can't say himself that it's a bet payoff. Let's see here. OKC got the best draw they could hope for. Yeah, they absolutely did. They were able to jump up from 8th to 6th and go from having to face the Nuggets, who they got swept by this year, to facing the Blazers, who they swept this year. So very favorable outcome for OKC. How about KD using the Dirk statue shot to pass him in playoff scoring list? That was cool as hell. Yeah, that was a really cool tribute to pay. I mean, I got issues with KD, but it's never been a secret that KD highly respects Dirk, among many other guys around the league. But KD, even before he left OKC and became just the jerk that he is, has always been very respectful of Dirk and everything like that. He was using the Dirk one-legged fadeaway even in OKC. So that was cool to see for sure. Whether or not, it's crazy to think he already caught Dirk in postseason career scoring, but, the last 3 years now, he's had a free ride to the finals and a championship. So I guess that's going to happen when you're the best player on the best team, but it's impressive, and he'll get to put some serious distance ahead of that. Plus, you got all those years, A, that post-title Dirk hasn't been in the playoffs, and B, even in the midst of his run, he had like 5 straight years getting bounced in the first round or like immediately in the second round. Dallas Hart, if we get our pick and we sign a good player, we're in the playoffs. Yeah, I think so. I really think this team, even though we didn't get a chance to see even like 10 games worth of seeing Luka and KP playing together this year, which would have been even better, everything in the eyeball test says this is going to work, and this feels to me a bit reminiscent of the Mavericks that the year before they beat Utah in the first round in like 2001 season, I believe it was. The year before that, you could look at Dirk, Finley, and Nash, and you're like, there's something here. Something's about to break out. And it did the next year. I feel like this is a similar moment. The only difference is we don't have the eyeball test to reaffirm that ahead of time for us. But at the very least, we know how good Luka is. We know the building block that he provides. And we know what KP has been. And that KP is very good. I don't know if KP is the singularity that you want to build around. But when he's your second guy, oh, hell yeah. And so I feel very confident how he could fit with Luka and all that. So I think this team's ready to break out, whether it's a good draft pick, like a top 3 pick, let's say, or I guess, one or more solid free agent signings. And to be clear, I don't mean that you have to run out and you have to go get a Jimmy Butler or a Kevin Durant or a Klay Thompson even. Any of those would be great as far as talent on the court. I'm talking about like I would be content instead of spending the max salary slot on one guy. I would be content adding 2 damn good guys who they might not be stars, but they fit important needs on this team. And then you can pair them with Luka and KP and have an even better setup, which then gives you a chance to build a more fleshed out roster with good depth. That, to me, is the ideal scenario. But if you can get one of those guys, I understand you can't really say no if the opportunity's there. So we'll see what happens. I know we need toughness on our team, but not that. Yeah. Do we have a legit chance at the top 4, asks Says. Yeah, I mean, it's a 20% chance that we keep our pick. It's not super high, but it's a puncher's chance. So you might as well just roll with it. The Mavs cannot get higher than the 9th pick as a result of the tiebreaker. Good thing is it's still the same odds for top 4. Okay, so just as good of odds being a top 9 pick as it is a top 4 pick. Gotcha. Good clarification, Max. I'm actually not opposed to getting RJ if possible. Yeah. We don't encourage losing, Dallas Hart, just saying. Luka played 72 games. 72, okay, I thought it was 71. Well, there you go. And, we rested him a lot late. We kept saying, like, oh, right thigh contusion. That wasn't right thigh contusions. You saw him jumping around celebrating Dirk getting that dunk in his last home game. He was fine. He was, I'm not saying he was 100%, but he was certainly good enough to play in San Antonio. That was a calculated decision to, A, help their chances at tanking to the very end, and B, just to protect Luka because, who knows. slips on a sweat spot, and suddenly he gets injured. You don't want that. I'm knocking on wood, so it's fine. He has almost another season to get the most before 21. Yes, he does. He's already got the most. And yeah, he's got plenty of time now to pad that number out. You're right, Says. DJ Godslayer 1. Our pick can't be 5 to 8. It's 9 to 13. It goes to ATL, and it's 1 to 4. It's our pick. Obviously, I meant higher than outside the top 4. Gotcha. Let's see. Boston, give KD some love. He's probably the best player in the NBA. At this point, he probably is. My problems with KD are more so with his character and the locker room issues that come with him, and the lack of loyalty. But you know, it is what it is. I don't question his talent one bit at all. Get you Bogdanovich. Yeah, Bogdanovich would be a great addition. Connie, what's up? I'd take either of those options. Yep, agreed. Rough Reven. Hey-oo. Klay Thompson is not an all-star level player for me. Klay Thompson would be a phenomenal addition. He's a great defender, and he's a lights-out spot-up shooter. And on a team with KP and Luka, not to mention Brunson and some of these other guys we have in our second unit, ooh, Klay would still be lethal. I don't know if he'd be quite as lethal, obviously, as Golden State, where he plays with 5 all-stars. But still, yes, I know Cousins, because he didn't play until January, didn't make the all-star team this year. But all-star level talent. I think we need someone who can... Wait, I think we need more than anything is another shot creator. Yeah, that'd be great. And that's why you would like the addition of a off-ball point guard, but one who can do something. I don't think Kemba is the best pick for us. I think he's very ball dominant, and I don't think that gels well with Luka. A higher second-round pick, by the way, 26% chance that we're keeping our pick. Gotcha. Klay is the ultimate role player, not somebody you build around. Rough Reven, we're talking about Klay being our third guy. We're not talking about Klay being the star. We're talking about him being the third best player on the team. That seems pretty reasonable for his value. You're building around Luka and KP. Klay is just the next kind of piece, not so much a foundation piece, but definitely a core piece. Humble, talented, and hardworking all-star is Kemba. I like Kemba. I just don't think he fits best with what we need. I think it takes the ball out of Luka's hands too much. And I understand you're going to have to take the ball out of his hands. You can't have him literally do everything. His usage rate is historic highs, I think, this year. But it's still something to consider, getting the most out of both guys. And I don't know that that's necessarily the best option. If we can get a 2-guard or 3 that can create his own shot, it will help Luka a lot. Yes, it will. That's the kind of player we need, not egos. Agreed. We don't have a max spot after all. No, but it's like just under max. I think like max would be like considered 32 roughly. We got 30. So we've got the money, but it's not correct. It's not a technical max slot. And they could still easily make one move on the roster and open that up. Being clear, odds of a top 4 pick are 26.3. 9th are 46.4. 10th, 24.3. 11, 2.9, 12.1, 13. I'm just going to say 0. Yeah. And the Mavs are guaranteed a better second-round pick unless they move up. Gotcha. He has a much higher IQ than Dennis Smith Jr. Who are we talking about? Klay? Oh, yeah. Klay's got a higher basketball IQ than Dennis, yes. Off-screen guy and transition Terra. Yes, he is. I think that would work. He could still do a super Jalen Brunson role. Yeah. I want to keep Dodo, Kleba, and extend Powell. So Mark Cuban said on the radio earlier this week that they intend to extend Powell another 3 years. And I think the number they threw out for the contract was $50 million. That seems like a pretty big investment. I mean, Powell's a nice player. He had a rough stretch there late, but I kind of wash out the end of the season post All-Star and after really the 2 trades because the whole team transformed and suddenly you were asking guys to do more than they're generally asked to do, more than they're probably capable of, and it kind of led to some guys getting exposed, that being Kleba and Dwight Powell and some other guys too. Brunson, I think, actually shined pretty well when he got more time, and I think he's, at the very least, I don't think necessarily that he's your starter next year for point guard, but I think he would be a very good, very, very good sixth man off the bench for you. I don't see Barea coming back, although they haven't ruled that out. I don't see Devin Harris coming back either. So I think that that's stuff they're going to have to take into consideration. Brunson might be your sixth man next year, potentially. That was weird. My cup disappeared. Clay is not leaving Golden State. I mean, probably not, but it depends. If KD leaves, their dynasty window kind of closes. They certainly go from being far and away the best team to being just a very good team that is beatable. So, who knows? Maybe he wants to go somewhere else. He's done nothing but win titles there. At some point, a guy, when he doesn't need any more gold, does start to think, oh, maybe I could go build kind of my own legacy elsewhere as well, because I've already done everything there is to do here. Ultimate Role Player was more of an answer to the guy saying Clay is no all-star talent. To make it clear, I would love Clay as the third piece. Gotcha. Gotcha, Ruff. Kimba is not really the guard, in my opinion. The best guard for the situation, I'm guessing. And Trey Burke. Yes, Trey Burke. I think he's solid too. I know Innie was really excited about adding him in the KP deal. Also, Luka can't play point guard if he can't defend small guys. Point Luka is definitely a popular thing, but I think of it as more of a point forward than a true point guard sometimes. Mavs need a great center and put KP on the 4. I agree with that. With the rest of the money, go get Dragic. There's definitely a big movement for... I haven't heard it so much from inside the Mavs, but I've heard a lot of talk about people wanting Dallas to sign Vucevic for the 5, and then basically stretch wave Courtney Lee, and I think that might be enough to do it. To within that like $14 million you open up, go sign Goran Dragic. We know his history with Luka. We know that pairing would be nice. That would give us like a super international team, which we've never seen. I don't know, though. I have concerns defensively about that team, particularly like foot speed, because KP is a good shot blocker, but that's more so his length. That's more about his length. And Vucevic, not great foot speed, not great athleticism. He's a very good player, a 20-10 guy, an all-star, but I feel like he's going to take close to a max to sign. And that's a lot of money to pay when I think you can get comparable productivity out of other guys. This isn't a 5 by any means, but another 20-10 guy who's not an all-star. Another 20-10 guy you can sign for a much cheaper deal, who's a hometown kid and who more than proved his worth this year, would be Julius Randle. Julius Randle, they didn't want him last year because they had concerns about his outside shooting. He's a little bit undersized for a power forward. It doesn't fix the KP wanting to play him at power forward situation, but Julius Randle was a 20-10 guy playing alongside Anthony Davis this year. That's really valuable. And he extended his range. He can shoot from the outside now. He's still not a great defender, and he's a little undersized, but he can give you a lot of great productivity. But I don't know. That's an option, and it's damn cheaper than it would be to get Vucevic. We can trade Lee for Dragic, definitely, if Dragic forces it. Gotcha. Someone like Brook Lopez can help at center. Getting Brook Lopez away from Milwaukee might be tough. They got the best record, and he fits perfectly within their system. Regardless of what they do this year, because of bird rights, they can sign anyone if they want. They don't have to lose a single guy if they don't want to. If we can get a top tier 1 or 2 or 3, would be better than a center. I disagree there. I don't know that it would be better than a center because Luka already runs the most of the offense. So getting a 1 or 2, and when you're talking top tier, I'm assuming you're talking like a Klay Thompson spot up or a Kemba or something like that. I would say the addition of a center is bigger. What put the Mavs over the top in 2011 was getting the Tyson Chandler. You got to get the guy that can rebound, because KP's best year rebounding was 7.6 boards. That's not enough. That's not good enough. You need a guy that can defend the rim and rebound. I don't care really about his points as long as he can do those other things well. And unless you can add that, adding a quality 1 or 2 or 3, that'll help you, sure. I mean, that'll still make your team better, but I feel like there's going to come a time where you really need the big guy that can take care of the rest. Not as drastically so as 2011, that being the case, but I do think it's still holds on some level as a universal truth. Need a hard rolling C like Cousins, center. Yeah. Cousins will be out there. He'll be available. I think you'll be able to get him if you want him. It just depends on what they feel. But I have heard that the Mavericks are keeping a serious eye out on him. They're basically assessing him from afar, watching his tape, seeing how they feel about how he's doing up till now. And they're going to make a decision in the offseason if they want to extend an offer. Julius Randle for sure. They made the playoffs after all and are up 1-0 now. Orlando, yes. Orlando might stay in Orlando, but I don't know for sure. Orlando might stay in Orlando. Vucevic might stay in Orlando. If we have a stretch 4 in KP, we should pair him with a defensive hard-rolling center. Yeah. I like Randall as well. For the right price, his defense is kind of suspect. Yep, and that still might be why they maybe still don't have enough interest to talk to him, just like last year. We have Powell, KP, and Kleba. Kleba's not a starting center. He's not. I know that there are some people that are very much huge fans of his. I like him as a player. I still want him on the team by all means, but I don't see him as a starting center. I don't. I think he's a better role player. And Dwight, I like Dwight as an energy guy off the bench. Zion would plug all those holes. Again, if you can somehow get the #1 pick and get Zion, yes, he will fix most every issue you have, even though he's only like 6'8" himself. Zion's not that big. Zion's the same size as Julius Randle. He's just a force of nature that would make an instant impact. Randle would be sweet as a super 6-man for power forward and center. We have the 9th best odds now, says Connor. WTF. I know we have like the 7th worst record, but in tiebreakers that might put us there. 6th best odds, 3-way tie. We'll see how it pans out. All I know is we got a 6% chance at the #1 pick. And a 20-something%, like 23, 26% chance at keeping our first round pick. Puncher's chance, as I like to say. Can we add Marc Gasol? If he leaves Toronto, perhaps, but it's not a splash add at all. It's just a decent addition. He's still a serviceable player, so I would want to know what money we'd want to give him, but who knows? Cousins isn't coming off an injury anymore. I mean, it's been over a year since he tore, and he's been playing now the past 3 months. So I don't view it in the same lights coming off an injury as before. Draymond Green's not leaving there. I mean, maybe eventually he'll leave, but I don't even think he's a free agent. He's going to go try and get his Supermax with the Warriors first, which, by the way, no chance in hell is Draymond Green worth a Supermax. I don't think he's overrated. I just think that he's more than I want to pay for him. How about DJ? He's a great defender. Yeah, any is more open to the idea of welcoming back DeAndre Jordan. I sure as hell am not. To me, I get it. The team should be better, and so therefore, by any's logic, he should be more motivated to play better. But to me, you can't sell me if I'm in that locker room on playing with him again. Even if we ignore the, poaching rebounds from his own teammates and stuff like that, you still just got to look at the fact that he didn't try. A lot of times he just flat out did not try. Dragged ass on defense. Didn't do anything. Unless he was playing his own former team, the Clippers, he just didn't play motivated. But it is what it is. I wouldn't bother with DeAndre Jordan. You want me to do a tankathon simulation until Dallas lands Zion? All right. Let me pull it up. I'll humor you. Let me see. I want to actually see if I can pull it up on screen for you guys to see. You'll have to forgive if the setup is a little janky. That looks janky. Take me to the tankathon. Let me actually get it centered in the frame. Remember how I said it was going to look janky? Well, this is pretty janky. One moment, and I'll zoom in as well. All right. It's a little bigger than the screen I got here. Let me see if I can actually keep the fourth wall somewhat intact. All right. There you go. Got it pulled up. Let's run some tankathon skims. 17 tries for him, says Rangers King. I got time for 3 more questions, and I'm going to do this sim now that I'm on the tankathon, and we'll see how long it takes to get number 1. Dallas ended with 9th on that. 9th on that. 11th. 9th. 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 I'm seeing a trend. 10th. 9th. This is great, great viewing for you guys, I'm sure. 9th. 3. So that got him Culver. I don't know how many what number I'm on, but it's got to be double digit at least. So no talk of DeAndre Jordan. No, none at all. If DeAndre Jordan actually played hard for the Mavs, would no doubt be a playoff team. I think that's fair to say. I wonder what he'll get next year, mid-level exception. Yeah, I don't know. They could have been, if they played decent amount out of the American Airlines Center. You mean on the road, yeah. Mock draft aside, they were on the run for all the transfers. What moves would you make to make the team better next year? Well, I've already said instead of adding one super expensive player. Let me see if I can zoom that in for you. You don't need all the stats and whatchamacallit. I would say on that front, I'd rather add a couple players. I'd like to add like a Julius Randle or a player kind of in that mid-tier. I would be interested in adding Dragic. I would be reluctant to add Dragic and Vucevic, though. I'd rather add one of the two. Here's Dallas at pick 4 with Culver again, Texas Tech shooting guard. Number 2, R.J. Barrett. Number 4, Culver again. Number 3, Culver. What the hell, man? Suddenly I can't get us to not keep the pick. Oh, there it goes. 11th. 9th. 10th. There you go, number 1. I don't know what that count was, but I'm going to say 20-something. 20-something rolls until the Mavericks get the number 1 pick for Zion. Again, not great odds, 6%. But, you know, when the Bulls got Derrick Rose, it was like a 1% chance. Tankathon does not like me. I got number 2 at the second try now. Very nice. Hopefully it follows your pattern more than mine. And Zion on try 12 for you. Okay, cool. Mavs could trade down to get 5 and get another pick. If they trade down to get 5, they'd have to give up something of value, and usually a player straight up for that isn't what rolls, but we'll see. And I don't think they would trade into the number 5 slot either. If they were going to trade up, I think they would only look at the top 3 picks. Zion feels like hitting an eagle from a tee spot right now. Yeah, pretty much. Freeway. In the freeway, that is the NBA today. Cam would be a great addition. Huge upside. I argue his floor is Beal and ceiling is Durant. I think he needs a little more grooming, but he's coming out regardless, so we'll see what he can do. Culver would be a nice addition. I'd like Culver a lot. And again, we're going to be probably next week, I'm going to try and schedule with Max, Ranger King, here in the chat. And we'll try and have him on to actually talk specifics on prospects he likes for the Mavericks and not. Max, you can do your plug for the mock draft stuff you do, lock draft and all that. Why not see overseas in Europe and try to get the best 5 from there? It played well with Luka. Again, if they add like Dragic and Vucevic, that gives them a super Euro team because you've already got Luka and KP. Basically, your entire starting lineup minus one guy is an international player at that point. So they would already do that. It's never been done in the NBA, but you know, who knows? Maybe it does happen. Just have to see. Durant as a ceiling. The last time I heard that was with Ingram. Yeah, player comparisons don't usually work out, but you just got to see. Cam will never be Durant. And look at Ingram now, long way. Yeah, so guys, hit me with a couple quick questions if you got them. I'm going to have to wrap up the stream. I'm going to go watch the Thunder and Trailblazer game, which should probably be going about now, I think. Let me check the thing. Is that game already tipped off? Looks like it's doing so now. So, yes. If you got a couple quick questions, hit me with those real quick. And then I'm going to have to wrap up this stream here. I will be doing another Feeling Dangerous. My plan is to do one later tonight. Means the episodes will probably drop. The podcast will drop tonight. That's, again, on Anchor. And I think it's in the iTunes store now. For whatever reason, their distribution thing's being weird. But I do have it showing up in the iTunes podcast store setup, whatever now. So just search Feeling Dangerous, and you'll find my new podcast there. For those on Google Play, you know, Android devices and all that, I'm going to have to keep working at it, figure out what the hell's going on. But I'm very much still putting out content for that. I'm going to record some stuff tonight, and you'll get that on the channel in the subsequent days. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see, last couple of messages. A lot of players don't excel in the college game because the defenses and roles don't have as much freedom. That's why you see a player like Levine excel in the NBA, yet did not in college. Yeah, that certainly can happen, and sometimes it just comes with maturity as well. And coaching, you have a chance to evolve better and in a different system, and it works. So, all right, well, I don't see any other questions rolling in, anything like that. So I'm going to wrap this stream up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Be on the lookout for upcoming episodes and videos. They'll be coming soon. Until next time, remember, every legend was once a prospect. Salute. Any shot at Kawhi, or is he LA bound? I think he's most likely LA bound or stay in Toronto. I don't think there's much of a shot at Kawhi. Hey to Yuli. Sorry. Wrapping up the show. Catch you another time, though. Baby Greek Freak has a chance, but he won't be what Greek Freak is. I think he can be a very good player if you just give him a little bit of time to develop and don't give up on him like they've done other recent projects. Peace!